What if I told you the most respected people in any room rarely campaign for that respect? They don't explode into conversations, they don't audition for applause, and they don't waste oxygen narrating intentions. They move quietly, deliver precisely, keep promises ruthlessly, and let reality introduce them. In a noisy world, that kind of presence feels rare, almost mystical. It isn't. It's built, habit by habit, on simple Stoic principles that teach you to care more about conduct than performance, more about substance than signal, more about duty than display. Today, you and I are going to wire 10 of those habits into one continuous operating system so you can speak less, deliver more, and earn the kind of quiet respect that lingers long after you've left the room. But first, mark this moment with a tiny public act. Subscribe to the channel right now and hit like so this message outruns the noise economy. And tell me in the comments as we go, does this happen to you? Talking big, shipping small, filling the calendar and starving the craft? Do you know someone who does this and then apologizes for it every week? Tag them. Write one situation where you want to speak less and deliver more. Work, relationships, health. Your comment is not decoration, it's your first receipt. Let's begin with the bedrock habit, the one that quietly rewires how people feel around you. Keep small promises relentlessly. The world trains you to announce goals and harvest dopamine in advance. Stoicism trains you to harvest respect after the work. Instead of promising the moon, promise a stone you can carry today and deliver it when you said you would. Email by 3 p.m. Draft by Friday. Dinner without phones. Gym at 7. These are boring lines until you realize they're bricks in the road that leads to trust. When you miss, and you will, run a clean repair. Own the miss in one sentence without biography or weather report. Atone with the smallest action that repairs damage. Adjust one system so it's less likely to happen again. And advance immediately by doing one right thing before the day ends. Quiet respect grows in the gap between excuse and repair. Keep receipts. At night, write a ledger. 3 promises kept, 1 lesson learned, 1 adjustment for tomorrow. If you organize your life around kept promises, your speech gets shorter, your results get longer, and people feel safer near you because you've taught them how seriously you take your word. The second habit is deceptively powerful. Listen twice, speak once, ask before you answer. Most people hear to reload. They wait for their turn to talk and treat conversation like a stage. The Stoic treats it like a workshop. You earn respect when other people's thinking gets sharper in your presence. Practice a 2-beat pause after someone finishes speaking. Ask one clarifying question that reveals outcomes, constraints, or timelines. What result matters most right now? What must be true for this to work? What is the latest you actually need a decision? Then reflect back the strongest version of their point in a sentence. If I'm hearing you right, we're aiming for X by Y under constraint Z. This habit lowers temperature, prevents rework, and marks you as the adult in the room. It will cost you the small thrill of interrupting. It will buy you the large reward of being trusted. In emails, lead with the decision you need or the decision you're giving, then provide the minimum context. In meetings, speak last after you've heard the edges of the problem. People will begin to glance toward you not because you are loud, but because you are reliable. Third, install one-sentence standards. Boundaries without drama. Stoicism is not silence, it's clean speech. You don't argue for 10 minutes, you set a line and keep it. I don't decide under pressure. I'll reply at 10 a.m. I don't attend meetings without an agenda. We don't use that tone with each other. I'm ending the call. I'm focused until noon. Send bullets and a deadline. A boundary is not a debate, it's a design. Keep 3 lines written where your eyes land when your courage leaves. Rehearse them when you're calm so you can deliver them when you're hot. And remember, a boundary without a consequence is a wish. If the tone continues, you end the conversation. If the meeting has no agenda, you don't attend. If someone tries to force an instant decision, you give a time you can live with and keep it. You will be accused of being rigid by people who benefit from your lack of structure. Breathe. Keep your line. When the dust settles, even your critics will know where they stand with you. And that's the seed of respect. Fourth, ship at 80% and schedule version 2. Perfection is vanity in a tuxedo. It's fear wearing a halo. The Stoic standard is usefulness delivered on time with integrity. Define done in 3 bullet criteria before you start. When those are true, you ship. Then you book a precise slot for version 2, and you keep it. This frees you from the emotional roulette of waiting for perfect conditions and invites you into a rhythm where outcomes and improvements dance. You will feel naked. Good. Nakedness is honesty. Tell your pride. We publish helpful, safe, accurate work today. We polish Monday at 10. People who can depend on your shipping rhythm begin to orbit you differently. You stop being the person who promises magic soon and become the person who delivers value now. 5th, protect time like it's life, because it is. No one respects the person who is always available but never effective. Guard your gatekeeper hour, the first hour of the day free from feeds, inboxes, and favors. Put your phone to sleep outside the bedroom. Drink water. Breathe out longer than you breathe in. Write your spear, the single outcome that makes today a win even if chaos visits, and stage the first line you'll write or the first task you'll touch, so starting has no friction. Block deep work in 90 to 120-minute arcs and defend those blocks like appointments with someone you admire. Batch shallow work into 2 gates, late morning and late afternoon. If a request doesn't earn a block in your calendar, it doesn't earn your day. When people ask for a quick call, ask for an agenda and the decision they need. Offer a constrained alternative you can keep. That doesn't work for me. I can send a 2-minute loom by 4 p.m. Calendar is contract. If you break your own contracts, you're training the world to break them too. Respect follows the person who knows their hours are finite and spends them where duty and craft meet. 6th, own results and share credit. Blame is loud, ownership is quiet and magnetic. When things go wrong, instead of offering a weather report of circumstances, you say, here's what I missed, here's what I'm changing, here's the new deadline. You do not grovel, you do not grandstand, you adjust. When things go right, you name the people who made it possible. You forward praise to the team. You list the inputs others owned. You write your own name last. Strange alchemy occurs when you live like this. Your authority grows because you're the least defensive person in the room, and your relationships deepen because people feel seen. The Stoic does not hoard spotlight. The Stoic carries weight. Carry weight quietly, and the room will start handing you more. Not because you demanded it, but because you demonstrated you won't drop it. 7th, practice the view from above and move through the world like a person who remembers how small they are and how much their conduct matters. Rise to the ceiling, the roof, the neighborhood, the city, the planet. Watch your problem shrink to a dot. Then descend and do the next honest thing. If you make a habit of this perspective, your ego starts spending less and your attention starts investing more. Humility becomes a posture you wear without thinking. You stop needing to be the main character, and that frees you to ask better questions, make cleaner decisions, and become the kind of colleague, partner, or friend whose presence cools rooms. Respect loves people who right-size themselves. Not self-loathing, not self-inflation, just accuracy. 8th, make craft your daily devotion. Not your title, not your metrics, not your follower count, your craft. Put your hands on the work every day, even for 10 minutes, so the groove stays warm. Write 1 ugly paragraph. Read 1 page of something older than your phone. Fix 1 bug. Learn 1 bar. Sketch 1 thumbnail. The Stoics prized excellence born of repetition under principle. Let the practice shape you into someone who is boringly competent. Boring competence is a compliment in a culture addicted to novelty and crisis. You'll be tempted to skip today because tomorrow I'll have more time. Tomorrow never gives discounts. Touch your craft now and log it. These micro-deposits compound into a kind of quiet that cannot be faked, the quiet of someone who is good because they practice. 9th, delay praise and decline performance. Your brain is a clever addict. It will try to trade doing for announcing. The hit is cheap. A post, a boast, a meeting where you talk about plans instead of shipping product. Resist the theater. Measure your week by artifacts shipped, promises kept, and people helped, not by applause harvested. When you do speak about your work, Be specific and be short. Shipped V1 Wednesday, gathering feedback V2 Monday. When someone compliments you, say thank you and keep moving. When your pride wants to announce a goal, redirect it into a calendar block. Your future self will have a body of work instead of a body of announcements, and the room will respect you because your results introduced you long before you arrived. 10th, build identity from evidence. Your reputation with others grows from receipts. Your reputation with yourself grows the same way. Create an evidence list that you update nightly. 3 behaviors you kept aligned with your values. 1 boundary you held without drama. 1 deliverable you shipped. Do this for 30 days and you'll notice something almost embarrassing. The voice in your head that calls you a fraud gets quieter because you're showing it proof. From that quieter place, your speech simplifies, your decisions accelerate, and you stop auditioning. People feel the difference immediately. They can't always name it, but they trust it, because evidence radiates. Take a breath. If your shoulders just lowered, if part of you is already arranging tomorrow differently, anchor that change with a public signal. Subscribe and hit like so tools like this beat the outrage machine in your feed. And leave a line in the comments. Does this happen to you? Overpromising, under-delivering, living in meetings and starving real work? Do you know someone who keeps stepping on the same rake? Tag them. Tell me the 1 micro habit you'll start today. Gatekeeper hour, 1-sentence standards, no hot sends, ship at 80, evidence list. Public words become rails. Rails carry trains through weather. Now, let's stitch these habits into rooms where respect is either earned or burned. Work, relationships, social media, and the room where no one sees you. At work, you start with the gatekeeper hour. No feeds, no inbox, no favors. Water, breath, posture. You write your spear. You place your hands on the first line. You let the momentum of doing silence the chorus of later. Messages arrive. You refuse to let someone else's keyboard set your agenda. When the calendar tries to colonize your morning, you insist on agendas for meetings, owners for decisions, and outcomes for time spent. If any are missing, you decline with a sentence and offer a constrained alternative you can keep. Your name becomes shorthand for clarity. You don't hover and slack like a hummingbird. You open 2 gates and answer in batch. You use templates that buy back your future. You send yes, no plus next step decisions instead of novels. When heat shows up in your chest, you obey your lag, 2 minutes minimum before you speak or hit send. And the day you would have spent repairing 1 hot moment is returned to you for actual building. Behind your eyes, a reputation accumulates. Not the loud one, not the always available one, the one who makes things better and leaves rooms calmer. In relationships, the habits feel softer but cut deeper. You announce your gatekeeper hour to the people you live with and ask for help protecting it. Then you keep your promise to end when you said you would. You put your phone to sleep at dinner in a basket everyone can see. You give 1 sentence of truth before you give silence or essays. That landed heavy. Can we try again slower? I'm hot. I'll come back at 8. I won't discuss this in that tone. If the tone continues, you calmly do what you said. You practice listening with 2 beats and paraphrase the strongest version of what you heard before you answer. You allow your loved ones to be human without allowing them to be reckless with your boundaries. You praise in specifics, you critique in private, and you forgive without pretending that forgiveness equals access. People in your house begin to relax because your reactions are no longer a coin toss. That relaxation is respect taking root. Online, you refuse to audition for strangers. You measure publishing by usefulness, not by outrage velocity. You don't feed every troll, you block, mute, and move. If there's signal in a criticism, you mine it for version 2. If it's just noise, you decline to tip with attention. You never send heat. You schedule rereads in the cold. You remember the view from above when a comment tries to rent your nervous system, and you ask, does this serve my craft or just my chemistry? Then you put your hands back on the work. Strangers stop owning your day because you stopped selling it. The quiet that follows is the sound of your attention being spent where it belongs. In the room no one sees, the habits become rituals. You end your shower cool. You dim lights an hour before bed. You put the phone in exile. You close the day with a ledger. What I did, what I learned, what I'll do next. And you write tomorrow's 3 outcomes with verbs. You stage the tool for your spear, so morning you doesn't need to negotiate. You breathe out longer than you breathe in, and you tell your body the truth. We're safe. We did enough. We know what's next. In the morning, you don't check who you are on a screen. You decide who you are in a chair. All of this is ordinary to read and extraordinary to live. That's why it works. Ordinary things repeated build the kind of character people trust in emergencies. Let's get even more practical and wrap these habits in a 7-day Stoic protocol so you stop filing them under someday. Day 1. Promises and proof. Write 3 promises you can keep by sunset and keep them. Log them. Day 2. Listening and standards. In every conversation, 2 beats, 1 clarifying question, 1 paraphrase, 1 sentence boundary if needed. Day 3. Time and shipping. Guard the gatekeeper hour. Ship 180% deliverable. Schedule version 2 before you close the tab. Day 4. Ownership and credit. When something wobbles, own it in a sentence, propose a fix, and name someone else's contribution on purpose. Day 5. Craft and quiet. Touch your craft for 90 minutes without inputs, then publish 1 small useful artifact. Day 6. Humility and the view from above. Practice the zoom out when pride spikes and choose a service action that costs you 5 minutes and buys someone else an hour. Day 7. Audit and align. Review your ledger, circle misses, adjust 1 rule. Plan the next week with deep work arcs, shallow gates, and a Sabbath block where you deliberately rest without numbing. Repeat for 4 weeks and watch your speech shrink while your presence grows. Mid-video checkpoint. Breathe, roll your shoulders back, and convert intention into a tiny public signal. Subscribe now and hit like so this kind of training shows up again the next time you're about to sell your morning to everyone else's keyboard. Drop a comment. Does this happen to you? Do you know someone who should be here with us? Building receipts instead of reciting resolutions? Tag them. Write the 1 sentence you'll use this week when someone tries to rent your time. That doesn't work for me. Send bullets and a deadline. Or the one you'll use when your pride wants to announce instead of act. Block it on the calendar or it isn't real. Public words are rails. Rails hold when your mood slips. Now, because your life is lived in heat and not in theory, let's walk through hot scenarios and fit these habits into your hands so you don't freeze when it matters. Your manager pings, "Quick question, can you jump on now?" Old you drops everything, joins, leaves frustrated, then works late to catch up. Stoic you checks your calendar contract and your deep work arc. If you're in the arc, you deploy the sentence you rehearsed. "I'm focused until noon. Send bullets and the decision needed, and I'll reply at 1 p.m. If it's truly urgent, safety or serious loss, you break the block and run a post-mortem later to build a buffer. Otherwise, you keep your promise to your craft. You answer at 1 p.m. with yes, no, plus next step, not a romance novel. You ship your spear by 3. You leave on time because you didn't set yourself on fire to warm a room that prefers email. People notice you're calm, clear, and strangely productive. That strangely is just guardrails. Your partner snaps after a long day. Old you matches heat and rehearses history. Stoic you runs the 1-sentence standard. "I want to hear you. I'm hot. I'll come back in 10. You walk, water, breathe, return with a paraphrase and a question. What matters most here? If tone stays hot, you end the conversation gently and keep the consequence. Later, you own your piece without theatrics. You share credit when the repair lands. You go to bed with respect intact because you didn't trade dignity for winning. Someone online throws a grenade under your post. Old you replies, refreshes, decays. Stoic you asks if there's signal. If yes, you log it for version 2. If no, you mute and move. You never send heat. You never let a stranger write your afternoon. You put your hands back on the next useful line. Your body learns. We don't spend calm as tip for performance. Your nervous system relaxes into a new baseline. Respect grows because you're not a weather vane. You're a builder. A client writes a vague, demanding email at 6:07 p.m. Old you answers at 6:08 and eats dinner angry. Stoic you closes the laptop and honors the shutdown creed you promised. You open your ledger, write the 3 outcomes for tomorrow, stage your tools, dim the lights, put the phone outside the bedroom, and sleep like an adult. In the morning, you reply in the cold. To decide today, I need A and B. I can deliver X by 4 p.m. Here's the first pass. You ship at 80, schedule version 2, and keep your evening instead of feeding the drama economy. Over time, your clients learn your rhythm and respect it because it delivers. Now for the hard pill, there will be days you miss, break, or forget everything I just said. You will say yes on the spot. You will talk too much. You will send heat. You will hide from shipping. You will ignore your ledger and wake up foggy. The difference now is not perfection. It's recovery time. The Stoic repair loop, own, atone, adjust, advance, keeps your identity intact while your behavior matures. You don't indulge the spiral of, I always do this. You tell the truth and take the next honest step. Then you take another. A life built on these tiny returns becomes strangely resilient. Storms still arrive. You've just stopped handing them your keys. If you want a pocket creed to carry into your next test, take this and make it yours. I do not audition for approval. I build things that prove my word. I keep small promises even when they are small. I ask before I answer. I speak in sentences that set standards, and I keep the consequences calm. I ship useful work on time and schedule version 2. I guard my mornings like a sentry and end my days on purpose. I own my misses and share my wins. I remember how small I am and how much my conduct matters. I practice my craft daily and let results introduce me. I build identity from evidence, not from announcements. When I slip, I repair. When I'm praised, I return to work. When I'm criticized, I mind signal and discard noise. I speak less. I deliver more. Respect follows. If this landed, if you can feel even a small shift from performance to principle, seal it with one last public step. Subscribe to the channel and hit like so this training finds you again when your calendar is begging to be colonized. And write in the comments right now, does this happen to you? Do you know someone who needs this? Tag them and tell me the one habit you'll practice for the next 7 days. Gatekeeper hour, 1-sentence standards, no hot sends, ship at 80 with version 2 scheduled, evidence list at night. Don't keep this as a feeling. Turn it into a visible promise. Then close the app, draw your first deep work block on the calendar, write the first ugly line, and let your hands do the talking. The quiet you're about to earn won't be silence, it will be gravity.